Howdy folks, this is Bill Owen with Alder Color Solutions bringing you a tech tip for the day. I often get asked, what is the difference between an X-Rite i1Pro, an i1Pro 2, or an i1Pro 3, or an i1Pro 3 Plus? There's been an evolution in these handheld spectrophotometers. In this first image you'll see the original i1Pro, which was released by Graytag back in the day, and it was actually a silver gray color. Eventually X-Rite purchased Graytag, and they developed the i1Pro 2, seen in the middle. And in the lower left corner, now the current i1Pro 3. And there is an additional i1Pro 3 Plus, which has the same outer shell but has a bigger aperture. So in this next image, you'll see a comparison between the i1Pro 2 and the i1Pro 3 Plus. And keep in mind that the Pro 3 has the same aperture size as the Pro 2, seen on the left side of the image, which is a 4.5mm aperture size. Now when you compare that to the image, the right side of the image of the i1Pro 3 Plus, that device has an 8mm aperture size, so almost double the size. So when you're measuring certain types of materials, it might benefit you to have that larger aperture size. Take a look at the charts generated for an i1Pro 2 or Pro 3 and look at the patch sizes here on the chart. And then compare that to the patch sizes for the i1Pro 3 Plus, and you'll see in order to accommodate the larger aperture size, you've got to print bigger patches. It makes sense, right? But another thing to consider, especially for those of you who travel with your spectrophotometer, is the measurement ruler and the size of that. Here's a comparison. Up above, you'll see the i1Pro 2 or Pro 3 ruler size compared to the Pro 3 Plus ruler size, which is quite a bit longer. It's about 27 inches long. Now, the nice thing about the Pro 3 Plus is it has a switchable filter option. So when you turn it over, you'll see that it's in its locked position, and you can turn it to unlock it and actually remove that filter and replace it with a polarization filter. Now, the polarization filter is very handy for measuring transparent materials or canvas or fabric or anything that has some structure to it. Now, using the polarization filter must be done in the M3 mode. Now, a polarization filter reduces the amount of light that's coming out of the spectrophotometer by 90%, which allows you to gather data from very high gloss materials like the glossy canvas image that I supplied, and is very handy for that. Now, we talked about measurement modes. I don't want to get too in depth here about measurement modes, but with the i1Pro 2, you had 3 measurement mode choices, M0, M1, and M2. The Pro 3 Plus adds an M3 mode for you, and that is for the polarization filter. If you'd like more in-depth information about color and measurement modes and filters and all of these things, I would recommend that you attend one of our color management boot camps. You could also contact me at billo@aldertech.com and visit our website at aldertech.com.